Today we're diving into a hot topic. Buy now, pay later, or, as you've probably seen it, Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, Zip, and others. These services are everywhere. One click at checkout and boom! You get the item now and pay for it later for easy installments. Sounds awesome, right? But here's the deal. There's a darker side to BNPL that no one is talking about. So today, we're exposing the truth behind this trend that could be messing with your money, your credit, and your future. What is buy now, pay later? Let's start with the basics. Buy now, pay later services let you split your purchase into smaller payments. For example, you buy something for $100. Instead of paying all at once, you pay $25 now and $25 every 2 weeks. Usually, there's no interest and no credit check up front. Super convenient, super tempting, but that's where the trap starts. BNPL is essentially a short-term loan that allows you to get something immediately without putting down the full cost. These services often boast about how easy and painless the process is. And it is! With just a few clicks, you've committed to a financial agreement. It is important to understand that even though you're not using a traditional credit card or taking out a personal loan, you're still borrowing money. You're making a promise to pay it back over time. And when something feels this easy, it is easy to lose track of how much you owe, especially when you're reusing multiple BNPL services at once. So while it might feel like you've found a clever financial hack, BNPL is still a form of debt, and it should be treated with caution. Why BNPL feels so good? BNPL taps into your psychology. It makes things feel cheaper than they really are. You're not paying $120 for those shoes. You're just paying $30 today. Easy, right? But when you do that with 3 or 4 items, suddenly you're juggling multiple payments. It doesn't feel like debt, but it is. And it stacks up fast. Here's the problem. Because BNPL doesn't feel like a loan or a credit card, your brain doesn't sound the alarm. That's why people overspend. When you swipe a credit card or take out a loan, you usually have to go through a more conscious process. You think about interest rates, minimum payments, credit limits, all the things that make your brain say, wait, do I really need this? But BNPL, it removes that pause. It turns a $200 shopping cart into just $50 today. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like a financial burden. That's why it's so dangerous. It's sneaky. And it encourages impulsive buying. Even worse, many people forget that these payments are still coming. They make another purchase, then another. And soon, it's not just one $30 payment. It's 5, 10, more. BNPL might feel good now, but when all those payments hit your bank account at once, reality catches up. And it's not fun. The hidden costs you don't see. Most people think BNPL is totally safe because there's no interest. But did you know that late fees can stack up quickly? If you miss a payment, boom, you get hit with late fees. Some BNPL companies charge $7, $10, or even $25 for just one missed payment. Now imagine missing 2 or 3 payments across different services. That adds up fast. These services often use automated systems to withdraw money directly from your bank account. If your balance is low and the payment bounces, you might not only get a late fee from the BNPL company, but also an overdraft fee from your bank. That's a double whammy. And here's where it gets worse. If you fall behind enough, your account can be sent to collections. Yes, just like a credit card or personal loan. That unpaid $60 order for new headphones? It could now be in the hands of a debt collector. And when that happens, your credit score takes a hit. A serious one. Collections on your credit report can stay there for up to 7 years. That's not something you want hanging over your head just because of a small impulse purchase. The scary part is that many users don't even realize they've missed a payment. Maybe they forgot, changed banks, or didn't get a reminder email. But to the BNPL company, it's still a missed payment, and the consequences are very real. So while no interest might sound like a great deal, the hidden costs can sneak up on you, and they're not small. How it affects your credit score and why that matters. Here's the truth. Many BNPL services don't report on-time payments, but they will report missed payments. Let me say that again. If you pay on time, it may not help your credit, but if you miss a payment, it could tank your score. That's not just frustrating, it's downright risky. You might think, it's only $40, no big deal. But even small missed payments can have big consequences. Some BNPL providers send delinquent accounts to collections agencies. Once that happens, it has to report it to the credit bureaus. And your credit score takes a hit that could last for years. Why does that matter? Because your credit score isn't just a number. It's your financial reputation. Landlords check it when you apply for an apartment. Lenders use it to determine whether you qualify for a car loan or mortgage. Some employers even look at it when you apply for a job. Having a low credit score could mean higher interest rates, denied applications, or even missing out on opportunities that have nothing to do with shopping. All that over a hoodie, headphones, or sneakers you probably didn't need right away. If you're going to borrow, make sure it's worth the risk, because protecting your credit score means protecting your future. BNPL is designed to make you spend more. Retailers love BNPL because it makes people spend more. In fact, studies show that customers spend up to 45% more when BNPL is available. Think about it. If you only have $100, you might hold off on that new gadget. But if you can split it into payments, suddenly it feels affordable. That $100 becomes $25 today. A much easier pill to swallow. And now, you're more likely to hit that buy button. This tactic plays into impulse buying. You weren't planning to spend that money today, but because the payment feels small, your brain gives you the green light. The design of BNPL is intentional. The seamless integration into checkout processes, the soft language like pay later, and the absence of upfront costs. All of it is crafted to lower your mental defenses. Retailers win because their average order values go up. BNPL companies win because they earn fees from merchants and sometimes from you via late charges. You might end up with a closet full of things you didn't need and payments that follow you for weeks. Real stories, real struggles. Let's talk real people. Sarah, 22, started using Afterpay for clothes. One order turned into 5. Suddenly, she had $400 in payments due in 1 month and couldn't keep up. She thought it was harmless, just splitting up a few small purchases, but it quickly spiraled out of control. Late fees started piling on, and soon she had to borrow money from her parents just to stay afloat. Then there's Mike. He used Klarna to buy a new gaming console. He missed a payment while switching bank accounts and didn't notice until he got a collections notice. His credit score dropped by 60 points. Now, he is having trouble getting approved for a car loan, all over one missed payment on something that was Zanti urgent. And these aren't rare cases. This is happening all the time, especially to young adults who are just learning to manage money. The ease of BNPL gives a false sense of security, and before you know it, you're in deeper than you ever expected. It starts with convenient, but it can end in chaos if you're not careful. When BNPL might be okay, now, I'm not saying BNPL is evil. It's a tool, and tools can be used wisely or dangerously. BNPL might be okay if you have a stable income, you're 100% sure you can make the payments. You're using it for something essential, not impulse shopping. You track every due date and payment closely, but even then, ask yourself, would I buy this if I had to pay in full today? If the answer is no, maybe skip it. Smarter alternatives to BNPL instead of jumping on BNPL. Consider these. Save first. Buy later, the old school method that actually works. Use a rewards credit card only if you can pay in full every month. Create sinking funds. Put aside money for things you want in the future. These options help you avoid debt and build good money habits. Final thoughts. Protect your future self. BNPL is shiny, easy, and feels harmless. But behind the scenes, it can lead to overspending, late fees, credit damage, and financial stress. You don't have to fall into the trap. Be intentional with your money. You work hard for your paycheck. Make sure it's working for you, not just for brands and fintech companies. Remember, if you can't afford it now, you probably can't afford it later either. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Also, let's talk in the comments. Have you used BNP? Was it a good or bad experience? I want to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay smart, stay intentional.